I noticed a lot of people were asking for experiences, and it really got me thinking about kind of this Instagram era. We kind of said, oh, well, wouldn't it be fun to get a bunch of artists and creatives together and kind of do this color experience? Color Factory is a 12,000 square foot color experience.
If you've ever seen an installation like the Rain Room or the Infinity Mirrored Room, you know that social media can play a huge role in how we experience and interact with art. Now, some creators are flipping the script with a new category of installations made for Instagram. These exhibits take the design language and structure of a traditional art museum and add details like perfect lighting, or colorful backdrops, or interactive props that all translate really well to photos on social media.
We can make a beautiful photo that will do very well on the internet, but it was really important to me that Color Factory was more than that. I kind of came down to 3 characteristics that I wanted each exhibit to have, ideally. One is I wanted it to be something that you normally didn't get to experience. So whether that's laying underneath, 100 pounds of confetti falling down on you, or, walking through a room full of ribbons. The second characteristic is we wanted it to have a concept behind it. Not to be just a pretty picture, but, that there was some thought and some meaning. And then the third characteristic is we want it to be really photogenic. So we did want it to make a really good Instagram. And there was a few decisions we had to make, like even with lighting, where maybe a warmer light would have felt better to be there, but a whiter light looks better on Instagram.
So what's the difference between a space like this and, say, the Rain Room? Well, some would say there isn't one. The way we experience art today is, in many ways, through our phones. But others would draw a distinction between an installation where an artist has explored space and light and scale and mood in interesting ways, and something like the Color Factory or the Museum of Ice Cream, which is designed to be reproduced on Instagram as much as it is meant to be enjoyed in real life.
We're not a traditional museum. I would never set out to be. I think that people sometimes get stuck on a title or a name. You come and you have this experience. The museum lives on in so many different verticals and ways. We're a brand. I kind of wanted to juxtapose what people think is a traditional museum and put artifacts and paintings in and give that kind of sense that you would expect, and then take you into something that's far more imaginative. If you look at traditional museums, they exhibit art, culture, they bring people together for a specific meaning. They celebrate design, they celebrate history. All of those things we as a company equally share. There's been this traditional sense of, the ropes, and everything is something that you stand and you're an observer, but you're not an active participant. The Museum of Ice Cream welcomes and celebrates the interaction of our visitors with the art and installations.
There's a question, is this art? I don't know. I'm not going to be the one to say if it's art. We brought on a lot of talented artists to work on this. It's interesting to see, I go to the SF MoMA and everyone's just trying to get Instagrams. Is that what art is becoming? Is what you're experiencing and sending it out into the world? I don't know. I just think it's interesting, and that's the reality of the world we live in right now.
I don't think that social is what is driving what the Museum of Ice Cream does. I think about how people feel, what is that actual experience, and I design it not for those little enclaves or vignettes, if you will. That is very much dictated by our visitors that come and they be able to create what are those moments for themselves. We don't say, hey, this is your moment to take a photograph. I give everyone a canvas, and it is their opportunity to make it what they will.
Whether you're in a space like the Museum of Ice Cream or the Museum of Modern Art, you're going to find people looking at exhibits through their phones. The question isn't necessarily, is that okay? Or whether social media has transformed or reduced art, but what do we get out of these spaces? Is it an experience that makes us think and reflect and see the world differently? Or is it an experience that amounts to that little square photo you post online?
I'm really proud of it and what it turned into. And a lot of people are like, how are you making money from this? And I'm like, we're not. Like, you know, at our core, we're a bunch of artists and creatives, and we just want to create these magical moments. So hopefully, you know, we make as many people as happy as possible.
I see Museum of Ice Cream 1, 2, and 3, which we're sitting in 3 today, as betas. I've always thought of them as that. I think that people often experiment, whether it's in a lab or in a different place, and they prototype. It just so happens that my prototypes have hundreds of thousands of people that go and experience it.